questions to Sri Ramana Maharshi. What am I?
You are the self. You are not the body. The body appears and disappears. But you remain. You are not the mind. The mind is a stream of thoughts. It rises and sets. But you remain. The self is that which is aware of all these things. It is the witness of the body and the mind. It is present in all the three states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is changeless, self-aware, and ever-present. The self is the heart. Not the physical organ, but the spiritual center, from which all thoughts arise and where they all dissolve. To know the self is to abide in the heart.
What is the self?
The self is pure being. It is consciousness. It is awareness. It is that which is aware of awareness. It is eternal, unchanging, and self-luminous. The self is not known by the mind. It shines when the mind is quiet. It is not attained. It is ever present. It is only obscured by thoughts.
How did I lose the self?
You never lost it. You only imagine you have lost it. This imagination is the ego, the I thought. It rises and says, I am the body. But in deep sleep, there is no body, no mind. And yet, you still are. That is the self. What is real remains. Only the unreal is lost.
Why does the self seem hidden?
The self is not hidden. You are always the self. But because you identify with the body and the mind, you do not see it. The I am the body idea veils it. It is like the sun hidden by clouds. The mind is the cloud. When the mind is still, the sun shines forth. You do not have to attain the self. You only have to remove what hides it.
How can I find the self?
The self is not something to be found as an object. You are the self. But because you identify with the body and mind, you imagine the self is elsewhere. Turn your attention inward. Trace the I thought to its source. When the mind goes inward, it merges into the heart. Then the sense of individual I disappears. What remains is the self, shining, still, and self-aware. Be still. Abide in the heart.
When am I closest to myself?
When you are without thought, when the mind is still. In deep sleep, the ego is not, yet you exist. That state is closest to your true nature. Be consciously that. Remain aware without thoughts. Then you are as you truly are.
Where is the self found?
The self is found in the heart. Not the physical heart that is on the left, and that is not denied. But the heart I speak of is not physical. It is the spiritual center, the source from which all thoughts arise, on which they subsist, and where they are all resolved. It is not a point in space, but the center of your being. To abide as the self is to abide in the heart.
How do we forget our true self?
This begins in childhood with the arising of the I thought. The real self is then covered by thoughts, by desires, by the ego, by the belief, I am the body. The I thought identifies with the body, and the world appears. From this, all other attachments and fears arise. But the ego is not real. It is only a shadow. When it is traced back to its source, it disappears. What remains is the self. It was never lost, only forgotten. Realization is nothing but the removal of ignorance.
How can I remain aware of the self?
You need not do anything to be the self. You are that already. But because of long-standing habits, the mind rises and pulls you outward. Each time it does so, gently turn it inward. Let the I thought sink into the heart. Remain still. Do not follow thoughts. Do not oppose them. Let them rise and fall. Remain as the seer. If you persist, the mind becomes quiet. Then what remains is the self, shining in its natural state. That alone is necessary. There is no other practice.